Well, hey artist friends, welcome back to the art room. Here we are, so let's apply what we've learned from doing our practice boxes above, on, and below the horizon line now to our actual factual drawing. So on your rubric, let's refresh some of those required elements. Remember, you're going to be asked to have at least 6 boxes. 2 above the horizon line. I'm just going to use H here as an abbreviation. 2 on the horizon line and 2 below the horizon line. Now, of course, I want you to go above and beyond on your drawing. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to be showing you the required elements on here just so my videos aren't like a half an hour long. But remember, this is at least. You should go for more. Go for above and beyond, okay? Now, the other thing I want you to consider is you're also required to have cropping, size variation, and overlap. And there are lots of different ways to get these in here, but we can start some of them with the boxes, okay? So 6 boxes, 2 above, 2 on, 2 below the horizon line, and let's do some cropping, size variation, and overlap. So I'm going to grab my sample drawing. I've got my ruler, my mechanical pencil, and I'm going to start with my 2 boxes above the horizon line. And let's go for gold. Let's start with doing some overlap right away. I'm going to have the box actually overlap my border and have it look like the box is coming so far out in front of us that it's coming in front of this border line. So I'm going to start with my initial vertical. I'm going to line up to my vanishing points. And draw my orthogonal. Now, if you get to the point where you feel like really confident with this perspective and you check in with me and it's looking correct, you do not always have to draw all the way to the vanishing point. If you are struggling with this concept or it's just the ruler keeps moving and things like that, I strongly encourage you to draw all the way to the vanishing point, but you could conceivably line up and not actually draw fully out. Okay, so let's make this box kind of be a huge one right above the horizon line. It's going to take up a lot of space. Let's have it come in front of our border. Okay, and because we're above the horizon line, I'm looking for those intersection points at the bottom. And there it is. There's our box. Now I'm going to erase my extra orthogonals here, okay, as well as where I want this box overlapping. Oh, took care of that overlap. There it is. Took care of overlapping my border. I'm realizing this little tiny eraser isn't going to cut it. I'm going to grab a chunk and I'll be right back. All right, back chunk eraser. There we go. So I'm going to erase where this box goes in front of my border so I can get a sense of it coming out into space. And this is what I mean by the borders are going to become a much more active part of our drawing. I'm going to leave that little corner where it doesn't overlap. See there. Okay, and I'm going to erase my extra orthogonals I don't need. Leave your horizon line alone, folks. You're going to need to keep that in the drawing. We need that to define our ground plane of space from our sky plane of space. All right, let's check another one off the list with my next grouping. There we go. Excellent. Okay, let's do some size variation. Let's make a box look like it's going way, way, way back in the distance, right? We can use some of those simple perspective aspects, right? Making something look smaller and further up on our picture plane and that vertical alignment can give us a sense of space, okay? And we'll also have that one be in above the horizon line. You know, to just save us on a little bit of time, I'm not going to draw all the way to the vanishing point here so that this video isn't taken up entirely by me erasing stuff. There we go. And I'm going to put in my sides. Once again, though, you should make sure that you feel confident with this perspective. If you're still struggling a bit, I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you draw all the way to the vanishing point and make sure you're lining up really correctly and hitting it each time. Cool. All right, so I checked another one of my required elements off the list too. By changing the size and making this box smaller, whoops, I erased a little bit too much into that line. I have gotten some size variation in there. Check that out. Okay. So let's do 2 boxes below the horizon line. So once again, I'm going to line my ruler up. Let's do another like big one. Ooh, except this time we'll mix it up. We'll have it going behind the border. We'll do some cropping here. Okay, and so we're going to go from bottom of the line to vanishing point A, top of the line to vanishing point A. Remember, these orthogonals are not just, you know, kind of like close. You got to really line up to that vanishing point. Bottom of the line to vanishing point B. Top of the line to vanishing point B. Okay, let's draw in our vertical here. Yeah, we're really going to have it going quite a bit behind the border. Cool. All right, and now instead of erasing the border where the box would be overlapping and coming in front of the border, now we're going to use an element of cropping, which is where the object is actually going off or away from, okay, going behind this, this border. So the border's cropping it. So we're going to take our eraser, and now we're going to erase the parts of the box where the border would be covering it and our extra orthogonals. And do you see how the border is becoming a real active, interesting part of our drawing all of a sudden? Whoa! Got it look like boxes are coming in front and going behind that border. Wow. Okay, so we're creating a really cool sense of space. Let's play with that size variation again. Let's make another smaller box, little box below the horizon line in the distance. Okay, we're gonna make a little guy, little box here. So still getting some more of that size variation in. Okay, so once again, I started with that perpendicular and also parallel vertical line to all of my other verticals. I'm putting in our orthogonal lines. Let's define where the back side of the box is. And once again, if you are still struggling with some of these concepts, you should be drawing all the way to the vanishing point. And also feel free to review my video guides, okay, from the previous. Ooh, that looks a little funky. Did I line that up correctly? I did, right? Sometimes it's good to do a little self-check though. Okay. I'm gonna erase my extra orthogonals. Remember, boxes below the horizon line, we see tops. Okay, but not bottoms. Ooh, got some more size variation. Okay, and let's finally do our 2 boxes minimum on the horizon line. Let's even get some more overlap in here. So I'm gonna have a really tall kind of like tower box here, and I'm gonna have it going behind this big box here. And so we're going to just draw my orthogonals. Again, I'm not going all the way to the vanishing point to save us a little bit of time on this demo here. Okay. And remember, with our boxes on the horizon line, we don't have to worry about tops or bottoms, we just see sides. So in order for this box to look like it's going behind this one, I'm going to erase where the top of that box would block me from seeing its bottom edge. And then I'll erase where it overlaps the horizon line as well. Oops. I erased a little bit of that orthogonal. Let me redefine it. There we go. And check it out. Looks like it's going behind. Let's do another one. Let's make another like skinny box, but let's make it look like it's going in front of this one this time. Really start to play with that space. We'll make a really tall skinny tower box. Creating some really interesting dynamic space. Okay. And I'm going to erase where this box goes in front of, getting even more overlap in. Whoops, knocked my pencil off the table. All right, and I've got my minimum required elements on there. What do you say? Should I go? Oh, I'm getting smudges everywhere too. I'll have to really clean this drawing up well when we're done with the inking work. All right, so I've got my required 6 boxes, but let's go a little bit above and beyond. I want to put one more on the horizon line. I really want to play with this idea of size variation. So we're gonna make like a teeny tiny box in the distance right on that horizon line. So do like a really little one for size variation. Little teeny tiny box. Make sure I'm lined up on my vertical there. And we'll just erase where it overlaps the horizon line. Excellent. All right. Now another required element we're going to have on this box, or I'm sorry, on this perspective drawing is some cutouts. So let's go back to our worksheet and let's check out how to make some cutouts and make some more interesting space happen within these boxes. All right, see you again in the art room.